Hey, let's all get on the same page. That's the theme this week. And as we make our way through the concepts, ideas, and quotes in the book Change Your World by John Maxwell and Rob Hoskins. And this idea of let's all get on the same page, it follows last week where we were talking about the concept of how we all need one another. So if we're going to need one another, then one of the best ways to enhance that is to all of us make sure that we get on the same page. Well, those of you who are coaches, you know that this is exactly what you want your teams, to do. You want all the players on your teams to be on the same page. But any leaders, any of you who are leaders of other types of teams, you want that with your groups as well. I'm going to be speaking at a business here in the town that I live in a couple weeks. And I'm going to be talking about this very concept about building a great team, and this is a business, it's a bank. And, but the people in that business and in any business and on any kind of a team need to all, recognize the need for one another to make this work. And then they all need to get on the same page. So I'm going to go through some of the concepts in the book as I've been doing with you. As I said before, you need to pick up this book if you haven't already. Hopefully some of you have. I'd love it if you'd leave a comment down in the comments down below if you've picked it up, and tell me what you're thinking of the book or what you thought of it if you've already finished it. If not, make sure you do so. Make sure you get the book and read it because it's outstanding. So they started with an African proverb. I've been thinking about this proverb quite a bit since reading the book, and then since doing Monday's podcast episode in which I did some of the quotes and ideas from this, much like I'm doing in the video. And the proverb is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I really like that quote. I like that concept because the idea is yeah, okay, if I'm not tied down to other people, I can really go fast. Think about sprinters, racers, right? But when you're part of a relay team, unless everybody else is faster than you, it's going to feel like maybe they're slowing you down. Now, I'm not a track guy, so maybe that's not how you runners feel, but I get the feeling that those real fast sprinters always want others who are really fast on their team, and yet at the same time, they want to be the fastest, right? And so if you want to go fast at something, if you want to get through something quickly, you can do it alone as long as you're good at it and you know what you're doing. But if you really want to get a distance and get far in the things that you're trying to do, you need help. You need other people with you. And so you want to go together, go with others. I just love that concept. So then Maxwell talks about this. The next section, or this first section in this chapter, is why people rally around a cause. Why do people come together for whatever the cause may be? Now, of course, in our sports teams, well, it's because I like to play this sport. So I want to play it and have fun at it. But I also want to be good. And I also want our team to be good because I want to win. It's a big part of it, right? And so think about some of these concepts. They're seeking connection with others. That's a big part of teams. I've had kids on my teams through the years who, yeah, of course, they love to win, but they just loved the getting to be with friends, especially in the levels that I've been coaching the last few years, the 7th grade level, the 8th grade level. Yes, some are very competitive and they're all focused on winning. Others are just focused on the connection, and that's a good thing. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. That's, to me, something huge about sports, about athletics, is we try to teach kids that you're no longer just you. You are part of something bigger than yourself. And that's a good thing. They want to receive value from giving. Now, this is where some of our kids might not think of it that way. But in life, and again, I think sports can teach us so much about life. The concept of helping kids and helping other people realize the age-old wisdom, it's far better to give than to receive, is a big thing. And kids don't think that way, usually. I know I didn't. And yet I remember the time, probably early high school years, when all of a sudden at Christmas, when I would give a gift to a family member, or when I started having girlfriends and I'd give a gift, the look on their face, what that did for me, the gratitude that they felt for me giving this gift, just even my family members. Here I'd gone and I'd picked something out for them that I thought they would like, and they did, that became the greatest feeling of all. Yes, I liked the presents that I was receiving. I'm talking about like at Christmas. Yes, that was great. But something changed for me when all of a sudden I liked it even more to see that I could make them feel that way. And I think that's a big step. And that's a big step for those of us in the coaching world to try to get our kids into that realm of, I want my teammates to feel this way too. I want to give to them. Maxwell says, this is the start of the significance journey. We give. And the longer we stay on this giving path, the more we realize that helping others helps us. Exactly. It's exactly what I started to feel. He talks about something called the inevitable return. I'm not going to go into detail on it here, but it's kind of a cool concept. So make sure you're reading the book. The next section was, okay, then sometimes these attempts at kind of positive movement don't work, okay? And why some attempts at movement don't move. He said, the first one is lack of unity. You don't have people, all on the same page. That's what we're talking about here. And then he said the absence of a positive goal. And I like this idea because I've seen this, and unfortunately we see this here in America today, probably in other countries as well. I've seen this grow over the last decade or so, well, maybe the last 6 to 8 to 10 years in our political climate. It's just gotten ugly. And one of the reasons is I think I constantly read or hear on the news or see people, who are talking with one another, or see them on the news. They're focused on being against something as opposed to being for something. Maxwell says it's difficult to create a focused agenda and build a movement when you're against something instead of for something. And yet, that's what we've seen in the political climate today. From both sides of this political spectrum, I hear so much more about how they're against that side as opposed to for this side, and what can we do positively? That's what he's talking about here. He says being against something isn't attractive. I totally agree. I mean, we're going to be for and against things, yes, but it's the for, when you're for something, that's the real key. It doesn't being against something isn't attractive. It doesn't draw positive people who want to work for positive change. If you want to create positive change in the world, you have to be for something. Gosh, I like that idea a lot. And I think we need that a lot more right now in our world, especially here in the United States. Inadequate leadership is another reason why some attempts at movement don't move. Seth Godin said, it's a quote from him, the easiest thing is to react. The second easiest thing is to respond. But the hardest thing is to initiate. Yes. Be the one that starts the movement. Be the one that gets things going. That's a lot harder than, okay, I'm just going to react to whatever I just saw and then I'll respond to it. That's too easy. And that's what going back to the for and against thing, I opened my Twitter. I'm so tired of Twitter. I try not to be on it, and yet things pop up. And then I just go down rabbit holes that just suck me in, and it's all against, and it's so negative. It's really a toxic place right now for me to be, and I have to force myself to just keep away from it. Otherwise I get sucked into that, and then my blood's boiling. That's not a good place. That's not, because there I am reacting and responding, whether I don't respond in the tweet, but I'm inside. So Maxwell says transformational movements aren't successful and sustainable unless they're led by transformational leaders. This concept of being a transformational coach, a transformational leader, is critical to your success, to our success, and it's a huge part of this book. There's also problems with a lack of organizational support. There's a problem thinking money is the answer, things like that. So, and then the next section, this is the final section, is how transformation happens. And what he does, he has 6 pictures, 6 little, pictures, I guess. They're not photos, but little drawings of how this works. Now, I'm pushing 10 minutes here already, so this is probably, I'm going to have to go through this pretty quickly. But he starts with a waterfall, and he says that's top down. It requires leadership, okay? So this is where it starts with us as leaders, and I love this concept. He says, if the leaders of the organization sent their teams to a training, the results are, this was a study that was done, the results were uneven and unremarkable. But if the leaders joined their teams in the training, the results were consistent and positive. To have any chance of significant transformation, the leaders must give their voice, approval, influence, and involvement to the movement. Be a part of it. I watched years ago, I took our school to our captains and coaches workshop from Proactive Coaching, the group that I speak on behalf of. But I went and watched Rob Miller do one. We partook of one at the school across the mountain pass here over in Bozeman. It was great. It was outstanding. It's one of my favorite things that I get to do in that organization is the captains and coaches workshop. You bring all your coaches and they get to bring 3 or 4 leader kids. And it's about a 3.5 hour workshop where you're doing all kinds of breakout sessions and you're creating the culture of your team. It's outstanding. The coaches from our school that dove into that with their kids and then came back and worked on it with their kids had far more success than I saw the ones who did this. They were there, they liked it, they were part of it. They got back to school and said, yes, you can keep doing that to the team. But they themselves were not a part of it. It just fell, and nothing really grew and developed from it. You have to be part of your team when you're trying to create this kind of transformation. When leaders use their influence to get behind something, they can make things happen. Absolutely. And again, influence flows down, not up. Leadership buy-in at the top of the waterfall allows our transformational efforts to cascade down into the 8 streams of influence and then throughout the country. But now the next one is a ladder. Well, that's bottom up. That's encouraging mobility. He says while influence flows down, transformation climbs up. When you help people to improve their lives, they rise up. Oh, that's such a great idea. And so we're trying to do all we can to help others up the ladder. Then he has a heart is the next one. That's inside out. It embraces values. We're going to be talking all about values next week because you'll see what the chapter title here is in a minute. But he says, he quotes Bill McDermott, a businessman, who said every movement has a single point of origin. And then Maxwell and Hoskins say that origin is always in the heart of a person. It's an expression of the heart, birthed in their values. That's such a great idea. Living good values precedes giving good values. And then Gandhi, he quotes saying, your values become your destiny. Then there are joined hands, shaking hands. That's side by side. That's partnership. All right. And he says in his book, 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork, as the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. And then he quotes Rod Wagner and Gail Muller in their book, The Power of Two, a bit when they're talking about partnerships. Again, now I'm over 13 minutes, so I'm not going to go into all the details on that. But it was a neat concept how you can be as partners, you can be in agreement on the mission that you're on and still have your own reasons for why you're on it. That's okay. Well, think about the teams that you coach. As long as all the kids that you're coaching are going toward the same goal, the same mission, it's okay that they have different reasons for wanting to be part of this and different ways to try to get there. As long as they're staying on the same page with you, they have their own reasons for wanting to get there. Next was a table. And this is bringing people together from few to many. That enables growth. Mass movements don't begin with the masses, he says. They begin with a few people. And then those people need to sit together and work. And then finally, he talks about a bridge. It's moving from here to there. And this is what leads to transformation. It starts with good values. Good values create growth. And he talks about how then the growth creates a transformation creates a movement creates a change, and then change helps us to cross over into a better future, whatever that is that we're seeking in our team. You must be moved if you want to become part of a movement greater than yourself. It's got to start with you. You cannot make, this is how he wrapped it up, you cannot make a difference or change your world, there's the title of the book, in a positive way unless you build everything you do on good values. They are the single most important part of any transformational movement. Gosh, that is so good. That is so good. And so we move into that concept of let's all be on the same page. Okay, we move from there to how are we going to do that? Through our values. And so come back next week for the chapter that's called Experience the Value of Values, because This is something that I talk about with teams all the time. What are your core, we call them core covenants, but it's your core values. Who are you? What do you stand for? What are you all about? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And so come back for that. That video will be filled with great ideas for you on how do you create values? How do you focus on values with your teams? And we'll talk to you again next time.